Welcome to this lesson on number sentences. Please make sure you have these notes in front of you so we can begin our lesson. And my students, let's make sure we update our table of contents. This lesson has two learning objectives. The first one says I can determine if an equation is true or false. And the second one says I can determine if an inequality is true or false. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the vocabulary. Our first vocabulary is a word called equation. And an equation is a mathematical sentence showing two expressions are equal. And this is what the symbol looks like. An inequality is a mathematical sentence showing two quantities are not equal. So you may have seen it either looks like the less than symbol or the greater than symbol. Those are inequalities. Number sentences are a statement of equality or inequality between two expressions. So let's actually talk about what these symbols mean. Our first symbol is the equal sign. And this symbol means is equal to. An example of this would be 4 1/2 is equal to 4 5/10. Those are two equal statements. Our second symbol is our greater than symbol. And an example of this would be 5 1/4 is greater than 4 1/4. That's an inequality saying that both expressions are not equal. Our next symbol is the less than symbol. And an example of this would be 4 1/2 is less than 5. Both of these numerical expressions are not equal. Our next symbol is the less than or equal to symbol. An example of this would be 4 is less than or equal to 4 because they're still equal to it. Another example of this would be 4 is less than or equal to 5 because 4 is less than 5. Our last symbol is the greater than or equal to symbol. An example of this would be 5 is greater than or equal to 4 because 5 is greater than 4. Or another situation of this would be 5 is greater than or equal to 5 because 5 is equal to 5. So let's use these key concepts to discuss the following examples. So for problem 1, it says determine if the value of x is true or false. So they're giving us an equation, and we know this is an equation because it has an equal sign. Let's go ahead and plug the value of 3 in for x. So 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. So the value of x is equal to 3, and this is a true statement because 5 plus 3 does really equal 8. Example 2 says determine if the value of x is true or false. They're giving us another equation, which is 5x equals 8. This is an equation because it has an equal sign. And let's go ahead and determine what happens when the value of x is equal to 3. Remember, whenever they're standing next, the variable is standing next to a coefficient, we're going to assume that we're multiplying. So I'm going to take 5 times 3 and set it equal to 8. So we know this is not a true statement. So we know this is a false statement because 5 times 3 equals 15, not 8. So go ahead and pause the video and complete the Got It problems, and we'll discuss the answers in class tomorrow. Notice I've got two Got It problems on this slide, Got It problem A and Got It problem B. And please be sure that you draw these tables. For example 3, it says the total cost of a pair of skates and knee pads is $63. The skates cost $45. Use the guess, check, and revise strategy to solve this equation. 45 plus k equals 63 to find k, the cost of the knee pads. So what we want to do is we want to just pick any number that we can try for k to see if it equals, when we add it to 45, we'll get 63. So if I take 45 and I pretend that k is equal to 10, 45 plus 10 only equals to 55. So we know that that can't be a solution. 10 can't be a solution. Let's try something higher. Let's try something like 20. 45 plus 20 is equal to 65. Well, that's too much. We went too high, so we want to make sure we go lower. So let's try another number like 45 plus 18. And 45 plus 18 does give me 63. So the cost of the knee pads is equal to $18. So go ahead and pause the video and complete this got it problem, and we'll discuss the answer in class tomorrow. For example 4, it says determine if the value of x is true or false. Notice they're now giving me an inequality because they're giving me no equal sign, they're giving me the less than symbol. So I want to see what happens when I plug in the value of 3 for x. I'm going to write 5 plus 3 is greater than 8. And 5 plus 3 is 8. So this statement here says 8 is greater than 8. So this is a false statement because 8 is not greater than 8. For example 5, it says determine if the value of x is true or false. They are once again giving us another inequality because it has the greater than symbol. So 5x is greater than 8. Let's see what happens when we plug in the value of 3 for x. So 5 parentheses 3 is greater than 8. 5 times 3 is 15. So this statement here says 15 is greater than 8. So this is a true statement because 15 is really greater than 8. For example 6, it says determine if the value of x is true or false. So in this problem, they are still giving us an inequality. The only difference is this inequality has a greater than or equal to symbol. So let's go ahead and plug in the value of 3 for x and see what we come up with. So 5 plus 3 is greater than or equal to 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. This statement says 8 is greater than or equal to 8. This is a true statement because 8 is equal to 8. So go ahead and pause the video and complete these got it problems, and we'll discuss the answer in class tomorrow. Notice there are 2 got it problems on this slide, got it problem D and got it problem E. And please be sure that we draw the tables. So now that we've completed this lesson, go ahead and self-rate yourself and let us know how you feel. If there's any part of this lesson that you do not understand, please go back and watch it again. Also come to class with some questions so we can discuss it in further detail.